Welcome to a new Daily Top Askreddit video. Today's topic.
Christians, how do you feel about the US president posting an AI photo of him as Christ? The fact that he even call himself a Christian is disgusting in my mind, as he makes no effort to live life according to the teaching of Jesus. Honestly, his base is idolizing him over Jesus despite claiming to be Christians. He might as well be called the golden calf. Yes, and there was a golden statue of him at CPAC, and his library renderings feature a golden statue of him as well. Idolatry of a terribly unrepentant evil man. Imagine how horribly insecure you'd need to be to become President of the United States and still need made-up trophies from strangers. He's really leaning into the Antichrist thing, isn't he? As a Christian, the first absolutely believe he's an Antichrist. In the NT, that's plural, there are more than one of them. He's straight up evil. For the KJ Bible, the Antichrist is one who uses religion and faith to manipulate Christ's followers into believing he is God's vessel. So much so that true Christians will rebuke their family and friends, they will deny, reinterpret, the true meaning of the Word of God in order to support the Antichrist. I was raised in a fundamentalist Christian cult. I'm talking homeschooled, bonnet-wearing, no TV religious wackos. My family were not cruel, mean people, just outrageously religious and naive. They were very kind, compassionate humans. Yet today they are MAGA Trumpers. I am flabbergasted. How could the most strictly conservative religious people, no sex, no makeup, no modern music, praise Trump? I mean, if one of their family got divorced, it was like committing a great sin. Yet they admire and support a man who cheated on every wife, divorced 2 ex, and spews hate. I just don't get it. There is no way to make their loyalty make sense. Have you seen that one site that does an amazing breakdown, comparison of him to the biblical prophecies of the Antichrist? https://www.benjaminl.corey.com/could-american-evangelicals-spot-the-here's-the-biblical-predictions/. Does that mean we can crucify him? National Parks alt account can probably source us the wood, or the recently laid off Forestry Service people. He is the Antichrist. It could not be clearer. Trump is certainly an Antichrist. He is the opposite of everything Jesus preached. Really a fascinating time to be an American. Fascinating, more like terrifying. We already had a golden idol of him at CPAC. Christians should have realized who he was long ago. Christians have known who he is all along. Pseudo-religious fascist posers are the ones who love him. I just watched a thing where Tucker Carlson acknowledged seeing Trump not put his hand on the Bible during the inauguration and not speaking up about it then. After his unhinged Easter morning message, it put the inauguration thing into a whole new light. It's despicable, like 99% of the things that dirtbag does. That's not fair. A dirtbag is a very useful part of a vacuum. How about stealing, adultery, rape, murderous war crimes? It was the treason and coup d'etat that got me. I mean, he's supposed to be our political leader, not our religious leader, so seems this is exactly where the buck should have stopped for everyone. Imagine if Obama did this BTW. Joe Biden got massacred for less while Trump is half as lucid and did much more damage in less time. Rules for thee, but not for maggots. They forget karma's a thing. No, literally, there would have been an assassination attempt, a real one. Does he think the 10 Commandments are a to-do list? Maybe he gets a gift card from Satan for hitting him, or IDK. You can search his response to, what is your favorite Bible verse? He couldn't name a single one. He doesn't give a fuck. Christianity, it's a tool to get the mouth breathers to vote for him, and that's it. He also said once that he'll never ask God for forgiveness because he doesn't think he's ever done anything wrong. So he straight up admitted to not being a Christian. Guy's a literal Antichrist. Neither he or his followers are Christians. Your actions make you a Christian. He's like a man telling you he is a vegetarian whilst eating a steak in front of you. He is a despicable liar and a pedophile. Jesus said that you will know them by their fruits. We definitely know Trump by the kids of fruit he's been growing. It is an abomination. Any Christian that supports this man needs to look in the mirror and ask themselves who or what they truly worship. Because there are no teachings of Christ to be found in this president. American Christianity ceased having anything to do with Christ a long time ago. It's offensive as hell. I mean, so is voting for him. Well, hold on there. He may be a felon, rapist, idiotic, morally and financially bankrupting this country, extremely corrupt, incredibly emotionally unstable, completely uncaring about anyone but himself, and committing vast amounts of blasphemy against the religion I claim to be a part of. But the other person was a female, so, literally. He did it as the Pope once already, and I rolled my eyes, so this is nothing new, sadly. The Pope and Raquel Welch, those aren't boys. Any Christian who still votes for Trump is a clown. Why limit it to Christians? Fair, but it's just really frustrating seeing the bulk of the Christian electorate fawning for this guy who's clearly not walking with Jesus and has no respect for the teachings. Aren't there these commandments that are important to those following the faith? Don't the first two say, "You shall have no other gods before me," and, "You shall not make for yourself a carved image, any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth, you shall not bow down to them nor serve them"? To be fair, a majority of people that claim to be Christians don't follow it anyway. I doubt most Christians, especially the MAGA ones, know the 10 Commandments. I say MAGA worships Trump more than Jesus. Not to mention they likely love his own written version of the Bible than the original. MAGA literally built a golden statue of Trump. At this point, it's just another day. I'm not a Christian, but I'm beginning to think he's the Antichrist. Falsely substitutes himself for Jesus, check. Will be a deceitful dictator, check. Rises to power by promising to be a peacekeeper, check. Will seemingly recover from a head injury, check. Explains why Peter Thiel knows about the Antichrist. I laughed. Poor guy is starved for attention and adulation. It's literally never enough. I'd feel some pity for him if we weren't all subjected to his malignant existence. It feels disrespectful. It's because it is. He threatened to wipe out Iran on Easter morning and then praised Allah, offending pretty much all Muslims and Christians. Now he's done this. Currently, if you told me Trump is the literal Antichrist, I wouldn't be surprised. The mark of the beast, Revelation chapter 13 verses 16 to 17, is a symbolic or literal seal placed on the right hand or forehead, representing allegiance to an oppressive power, the beast, rather than God. It wasn't tattoos as originally thought, it was red baseball caps. I could be totally wrong about that, and he could just be an old demented fool. Either is terrible. I find his mockery of my religion to be blasphemous and disgusting. You'd enjoy this then. I found it entertaining, and as someone not religious, informative too. https://www.benjaminlcorey.com/could-american-evangelicals-spot-the-here's-the-biblical-predictions/. They also cover the red caps just like you mention. As a Christian, the first already despised the guy. I'm disgusted but not particularly surprised. Same. It's entirely in character for him, and thus not particularly surprising. It just kinda blends in with all the other wackadoodle stuff he's done. It's disrespectful, and I don't see how anyone who calls themselves a Christian can support him or this administration. Can you imagine if Obama put out a picture of himself as Christ when he was president? It would be non-stop anarchy from Fox News. But when Trump does it, no prob, whatevs. Obama in a tan suit. Uproar. Trump in a baseball cap and Jesus robes. ... Silence. They're awestruck at what a marvelous fashion statement. Nail his fat orange ass to a cross and make him prove it. If the fucking bastard comes back 3 days later, I will be the first to admit I was wrong. And then I will apply for membership to the Church of Satan, because if Cheeto is Jesus, I can no longer call myself a Christian. They love it. They're super happy he called out the Pope tonight too. Yup, American Christians are awful. These questions being asked on Reddit are so comical. You're addressing a crowd to gain an opinion that represents the majority here. You're not going to get any semblance of a legitimate representation of the population here. It's all going to be the same response over and over. The conservative sub is calling the Pope the Antichrist. So, yeah, but the conservative sub is made up of the stupidest people on the planet. Protestants have been doing that for 500 years, it's nothing new. That's not to say these self-styled evangelicals in the US are doing a good job being and acting like Protestant Christians, but hating the Pope is a feature, not a bug. As a Christian, he is one of the most anti-Christian, anti-life people I know of. I don't even want to see that picture, although I'm sure I eventually will. Haha, I remember people being all proud saying I voted for this. Exclamation mark. Definitely not the worst thing he has done. For example, as a Christian, the first find raping children to be way worse. You really think these Christians are gonna respond negatively? They've been fine with everything so far. This won't even make them blink. Narcissist, disrespectful, cringe, I am not even a Christian. Really should provide a link. First time I heard of this, https://www.mediaite.com/politics/Trump-post-jesus-like-picture-of-himself-performing-miracle-on-sick-man-minutes-after-rambling-up-feud- Yup, I hate when people, or bots, ask a question without linking anything to what they're asking about. American Christians differ a lot from the rest of the world, so they may think it's funny. At the very least, it's distasteful. I really believe there is very little that he can do that'll make his dedicated MAGA base ever leave his side. He could literally say he is Jesus, start dressing like Jesus, start his own church of MAGA, and his base would still love him. It has to be lead poisoning or something that keeps those people loving him. Speechless with horror. Surely it's time for the 25th. We passed that after his Easter message to Iran, or the ICE shootings in Minneapolis, or his shambolic COVID response, or January 6th, or, you get the point. By now, I'm convinced they won't pull the trigger unless he literally nukes Tehran. And by then, it'll be too late. I hope Congress proves me wrong. The 25th Amendment requires his cabinet to do it. They were specifically picked because they're a bunch of gutless sycophants who are never going to act on it.